Hello everyone, this is Zelx here, and today I'm here with my homebrew Evolved Ambush Sword. A deck that I decided to start cooking the moment I saw Precious Memories being released. I thought this card was really strong. It's a draw one free evolve before ambush turns. And we do have some ambush cards in rotation right now that supports it. Counter Solari Adapt is one of them. Keep potential of having a 3-3 evolve that can go face on turn 2, and also Kunoichi Trainee, a basic card that I saw have ambush, and I was like, you know what, let's give it a shot. Can become a 4-3 ambush on turn 3, and usually, fun fact, not a lot of decks can deal with a 4-3 ambush on turn 3. Really, I'm also as surprised as you are when that happens. And that's not only the only thing you can do. You can also follow it up with a Blooming Dancer on turn 3, and this will auto evolve, especially if you have Precious Memory active on either Koinochi or Counter Solari. And the best thing is, your opponent cannot interact with them because of the keyword ambush. Basically, they are almost guaranteed to land a hit unless your opponent wastes a random spell to get rid of them. And usually, if they do that, you are more often than not pretty happy with it, although you'll be pretty upset that they got rid of your ambush. But that means their random clears, they cannot use it further on in the game on your bigger threats, like let's say Wise. Yeah, if you're surprised why he's here, he actually won me a lot of games. This card alone did a lot. He fits surprisingly well into this deck, and it's surprising how well how many times have I said this? He's good. Okay, let's move on. What other cards are there? Let's see. Day, aggressive card, Storm and Thor. Then we also have 2-4 Grace, generally good card in general. Dashing Duelist is a good card. Grimnir is I use it more for board control, but if you wait long enough, you can use it for the 5-7 combo. And then there's also Leod, Light of the Moon. One of the other ambush cards is expansion, and yes, he gives a token spell Beyond the Veil, which is really useful for clearing the board, or in the later games, acting as a 1 mana deal 3 to your enemy leader. Also one of your finishers. Then Bun and Bar, very strong card, especially on your first evolve turn. Basically, it's a 5 damage go face, and then the Vow Speedy Magic card can be used to hide Wise or another ambush follower inside, which makes your opponent think really hard about how to clear it. And if they don't play it well enough, you got another 4-3 Storm coming, 4-3 damage going to his face next turn. Like, if they clear the card, they'll get a 4 damage to face. If they don't clear the card, they still get a 4 damage to face. It is not a easy situation for your opponent to maneuver. And lastly, we also have Roland, 2 copies of her, because we get evolves really easily with this deck. And she is used to refill your hand or even hide the Wise behind her in case you need to. And yes, this deck works really well together. If you have the cards for this, I do recommend giving it a shot. Try this deck out for yourself, have some fun with it. And here's the QR code for the deck. If you're new to the channel or new to Shadowverse in general, do leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'm Zelx. I make Shadowverse meme content as well as deck showcases. Usually my own deck showcases. But yes, let's get on to the gameplay, shall we? Well, honestly, I don't even remember all the games I played with this deck already, but I'll try my best to explain how my thought process goes when building this deck and making out some of the plays. So you know what, if you want to try this out for yourself, at least you will have some reference to go off. So, off the top, here this set I kept it all because one, Kunoichi Training is an ambush follower. If I can get this with Precious Memories, it's going to be very strong. Dashing Duelist here is for against Bloodcraft, is a ward follower which could be useful in helping you defend your own followers. I hear top deck Amaterasu Sun 2-4 Grace, which is technically better than Dashing Duelist in most scenarios because she's technically 1 play 0.22 because you get another rush followers later on and they just keep on cycling each other. Generulu died, but that was a big shame because I did actually top up Precious Memory. If she had survived 1 extra turn, I would have been able to kill off this weapon tamer for free. But since I didn't, well, Kunoichi Trainee Evolve turn 3. It's a 4-3 that he cannot interact with And instead of going aggressive, they got scared and they decided, you know what, I have to go defensive. Which is actually the bad choice because I do have Tsukuyomi up as well. This time I could have gone Blooming Dancer, but I decided to go with Day instead. I'm going to assume they don't have a way to clear my board easily. So I did to hide Day in an ambush. Buff the Kunoichi by 1-1, which makes it harder for them to deal with, especially if they don't have the 2 play point follow to trade into Kunoichi, which they do have. They have Dual Blame. They once again they chose the ward follower because they are at 9 hit points. I believe they are playing Evolve, which is no, Wrath actually. They are playing Wrath. But they're not even at Wrath yet, if you realize. See, they are at 5. They are very slow, but they're already at 8. They cannot afford to go down any further. But I don't care. Blooming Dancer takes out the ward. Day is another draw a card, and I set up a counter Solari, manual evolve it for next turn. If they can clear this, they can. If they can, then this is a free 3 damage that they have to play around. They actually have to clear this. This is a potential threat that will push them further down into Lethal Reach. And they decided they can clear it. They found Diablo Sidone, and they managed to go down to 4 hit points. They managed to get Wrath active as well, so all's good for them, right? Well, no. Because what you didn't realize, Bun and Bar is in the deck, is a 5 damage storm, and it can come down just like that, finishes off the game because frankly, they spent way too much resources clearing out my ambush follows already. And that's it for game 1. I think I'm onto something here. Now this game here is also up against another Haven deck. Another meta deck, or like I'll say like very common deck that's on ladder. This is Amulet Haven. If you don't know what Amulet Haven is a deck that aims to get 10 amulets deep play through Neteran Great Trees as well as, you know, other amulets they run in the deck. We finish the game with Selina's Fiery Reproach as well as something else. I forgot what the something else is already. But as you can see, I opened with another perfect hand with Precious Memories in hand and counter Solari Adapt. And you can already tell where this is going. Well, you kinda didn't because I decided to play Kunoichi Trainee first. I want to set it up for next turn. And frankly, using Precious Memory on turn 3 alongside Blooming Dancer is a lot better than just using it on turn 2 with no follow up. Here, Kunoichi Trainee evolves, Blooming Dancer evolves. I have 2 evolves by turn 3 and they are down to 14 because this is a 4-3 ambush and they could not have dealt with the previous turn. Unless they have a White Snake, which they didn't play. I was really worried about that, but I decided to went for the risk anyways. And here, I played Wise. That may have been a better choice. I could have chosen to play Day instead. Day would have been amazing as well. I could have gone like 5 plus 10, 12 damage phase on turn 4. They have to deal with it, but I decided to go with Wise instead to stop any fanfares that they could use to clear my board. I don't know what I was exactly playing for when I went with Wise, but I was hoping he acts as a pseudo ward, which I don't think he did that much against Amulet Haven. I don't know what I was worried about, but I chose to go Wise Red, but you can definitely go for a Day if you wanted to. And they invoke Kogodia, which actually stopped my little quote-unquote from board because this one couldn't go face evil and go face for 11 anymore. But fortunately, I have Day, which is a storm. Negate is the 2 heal they get from Concordia, but give +1/+1 to my counter Solari. Counter Solari evolves, and now all of them can go face for 14 damage on turn 5. It's nuts. Now this is one of those games where it got dragged out a little bit longer, so you get to see some of the other cards come into play in this game, like Leo. I think Bun and Bar came into his car came into play this game as well. But as you can see, I did open Precious Memory. Should I add in a game where I didn't open Precious Memory? I think I lost. Most of those games are not favorable for me, but if I can find one where I actually did manage to open, did not open Precious Memory, but I still somehow got a good game, I'll show it in the one after this. But basically, our opponent here is playing one of the most universally hated archetypes, Buff Dragon. But hey, you know what? They can play whatever they want. Just it's not gonna stop me from absolutely despising and groaning my entire way through. They actually managed to clear my 3-3 on turn 2 with turn 3 with their guy, but I managed to go on a precious memory. And because you saw Dashing Duties have ambush from his fanfare, it actually activated and evolved him, turning him to a 3-5. A very scary card that a very difficult card to actually deal with. And here Bun and Bars came out just off the top, giving us 2 revolutionary shots, summoning us a card the next turn. And with his 2 shots, I managed to clear the 2 follows he set up to actually fight against my board. So basically, he played nothing at all, and now he's down to 9 hit points. This is going very, very fast if you didn't realize. And this is already one of the slower games. And this turn, Dion and as well as Mega Loka, he has to play this way to get rid of Bun and Bar. But unfortunately for him, this guy, Dashing Dooley, stays up. Bao is still here, brought him down to 6. And I hit a Kunoichi trainee inside the car, so that if they ever play cards like Heaven Scale, Kunoichi trainee will pop out ready to go face the next turn. And do note, she keeps her ambush because it is not a fanfare effect. And usually this turn, they will Buff Dragon in the past would have been very healthy, but because of how aggressive I was, I got him down very, very low. They pull off their Joe combo, which would have been devastating if not for the fact 2 of my followers cannot be interacted with by them. Their Joe isn't active. Everything went wrong for Buff Dragon this game. And Grimnir comes. It didn't even matter that these 2 survived because they did not heal. So Grimnir evolved beyond the veil is actually lethal. It is actually nuts. Beyond the veil and the curtain falls. I think this is one of those games that I didn't actually open with Precious Memories, and I didn't get to play it within the first 3 turns. It did show up, but it was a bit later, so I hope this gives a slightly more accurate gauge to the power level of this deck. It's still not... I will say it has potential. It's just lacking. I think a lot of decks nowadays have a lot of board clears that doesn't really care if your opponent has or does not have, whether they can or cannot interact with your cards. But anyways, as you can see here, I did not open any copies of Precious Memories, but I did get some very good cards in hand. Kunoichi Trainees, Ambush, Day, Storm, and Ambush, Bun and Bars, 5 damage Storm, and also gives us a card. But since I did not open any copies of Precious Memories, I decided to hold on to my Kunoichi Trainees. It is better to see if I can at least combo them into some sort of a combo game plan later on. But if I do, I did draw Precious Memories though, but it's far too late. They have board advantage and I really have to fight back right now, otherwise it's going to be very bad for me. So here I decided to go for Day, use the cards immediately to start getting my advantage, and I decided not go for the ambush and go face with Day so I can guarantee my card draw, because I'm fairly certain that they have a way to just straight up clear my board. I'm not sure if they actually do, because if they did, then what I did was a mistake. Actually it's not really a mistake, I'm just getting my draw earlier. And no, I'm not getting an extra 2 damage, but I think it's fine regardless. One good thing is I did get Bun and Bar, which is perfect in this scenario. Why? Because they have Lian and Alfie, and it would have been very difficult for me to get through Lian and Alfie unless I had cards like... I used my 2-4 Grace for example. But because of his revolutionary shot, I'm able to deal with most evolved followers that come out by turn 5 or turn 4. Because not a lot of them have more than 5 hit points anyways. And here my opponent decides he's feeling afraid, he cycles through his deck, he's drawing. But because of the way he played, Bun and Bar survived. I don't think that's a good idea. He maybe should have choose one of the cheaper follows in his hands and probably evolved it and ran into Bun and Bar, because taking 5 damage is frankly not worth it. And here I wrote the Kunoichi Trainee into the speedy card. Now it's hidden inside there. If they clear it, they will have a 4-3 ambush they have to deal with. If they don't, they have a 4-4 speedy card to deal with. I also have Day, which went face, evolved as another Aggression 2. And here they go dual blame because the bat doesn't do anything. They cleared the Trini, so the Trini pops up as a storm follower. Amaterasu dies, Girdle comes down, kills. This heals them to 11. But as you can tell, they don't have a way to deal with my ambush followers. And because of that, with my other bun and boss, he came down as well, another storm damage, and along with my uninteractable board, we go face with all our tempo, and there's literally nothing they could have done to stop us. And this is just JRBM, but you know. Hey, I get to deserve some after like cooking up a semi-viable deck, right?